Coach, congrats again. It's cool to see you back in Pittsburgh and how much it means to you. One of the first questions you had at your press conference was about Aaron. Have you been able to talk to Aaron Rodgers at all? Has there been any dialogue with him just about next year? I saw a lot of people kind of linking Aaron with James Campen, the offensive line coach that you guys are bringing in with his time from Green Bay. But has there been any more dialogue with that? Has it strictly been kind of just about Will and Mason because they are definitely on the roster, or have you actually been able to reach out and kind of have an initial back and forth with Aaron?
Yes, I've spoken to Aaron a number of times, but I think just like anybody that played the game a long time, particularly at this point of their career, I mean, it's important to get away, and so that's a normal process that I think it's important for all these players to decompress and step away from the season, and that's really the mindset that he's in, and that's really about as far as our conversations have gone as far as if he's coming back or not coming back. So I think it's important for him to, do the things that, he normally does just to step away and to make those decisions. But, you're talking about every player on the roster. I mean, obviously it's a constant as far as the communication between Omar and I, and he always has the roster board open in his office. So, we're talking about these players a number of times a day, just, make sure that I'm getting familiar with them, and, we're just continuing to have conversation about the direction we want to go.
What do you say about Aaron there? Hey, Aaron's doing his own thing. Is that what he's saying? He's doing his normal stuff?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just kind of a waiting game. He's doing his normal stuff. Who knows what that means? I think if we can all think of something different when it comes to Aaron doing his normal stuff in the offseason. But I do think based on there not being kind of like a finite, hey, I'm done after this year, I kind of think that he's going to come back and play for Coach Mike.
Yeah, I think I just assumed, especially when, and again, none of us were in there, so we don't know how true the reports came out, but like he was gutted when, Tomlin didn't get fired, but when Tomlin, said he was stepping down. And I think if it would have just stayed that way and it would have been a different head coach, I think it probably would have been pretty easy for him to just be like, you know what, I am done. But then when McCarthy gets hired as a head coach, I think he's probably like, you know what, like, if there was one guy who I would maybe consider coming out of retirement to come play for, it'd be this guy.
Delaying retirement.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly.
Yeah, and Mike McCarthy and he obviously have had great success in the NFL whenever they were at the Green Bay Packers. Different time, different era, different NFL, I would say. 98, 55, and 1 in the regular season. 8th most wins by tandem. 9-7 in the playoffs. Tied 7th most wins by a tandem. He would certainly understand what everybody would want to have happen. His offensive line coach that he loves from Green Bay. Campy just got hired. He in New York Jets. Hard Knocks against Carolina Panthers joint practice. Aaron Rodgers basically walks through the Carolina Panthers team, like right through their sideline. Wild move. He was the only Jets guy over there, on a beeline directly to this guy. And then he started talking shit to him immediately. It's like, oh, these two are very close, it appears. He is now the offensive line coach for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's like a lot of familiar faces, especially if Scotty Tolzien, who is the former backup quarterback of Aaron Rodgers, is potentially getting an offensive coordinator interview. He was down with Kelly Moe down at the Saints. It's like there's Aaron finding him in the middle. Look, that's Carolina Panthers practice. Aaron just walked his ass right into. It's like, I don't think that's normal. Now, granted, he's Aaron Rodgers, so everybody in the league is like, what up, dude?
Yeah.
We've watched you. And you're wild. I assume a lot of people are like, you're wild, man. Like you are, because every player and coach has respect for Aaron Rodgers. Like no matter what he says or how he does. There's a lot of people that hold a lot of things that have happened or he has said, or maybe things that are narratives that have been said or built about Aaron that make them hate Aaron Rodgers. Like there is, and Aaron Rodgers certainly is Mount Rushmore quarterback in the history of the NFL. So he's going to draw a lot of attention to begin with. So whenever he's not normal, there's going to be people that think differently about him. But everybody in ball respects him and appreciates him. That's why I think anytime you hear anybody in ball talk about Aaron Rodgers, they're like, if Aaron Rodgers wants to come play, I think we'll give him a shot.
Yeah.
I think we would get, just because everybody in the locker room immediately is like, we got Aaron Rodgers as a quarterback. Like that is, and I think that was a big part of the exit interviews, from my understanding with the Pittsburgh Steelers, is a bunch of the OGs met with Khan and met with Rooney and everything like that on their way out. And they were asked, I guess, do you think Aaron Rodgers could still play winning football? And they were all like, yeah, we think Aaron could definitely do it. And that's just like how I think the Pittsburgh Steelers building feels about Aaron. Now, how do Pittsburgh Steelers fans feel about Aaron coming back? How does media, or Dan Orlovsky say?
Oh, yeah.
Mike McCarthy and Aaron Rodgers would be the worst decision of all time. Of all time, I think, something like that. It's like, that's a fascinating take, because are you destined to potentially just finish in the same spot, which is what everybody's saying? Aaron coming back to play for the Steelers with Mike McCarthy is like, seems like the most likely outcome.
Yes.
It feels like the most likely outcome, but I don't know if everybody has kind of wrapped their minds around that being an actual thing, or I don't know how everybody kind of views it.
Yeah, and I mean, like when things ended how they ended in Green Bay, and there was a lot of conjecture and discussion about him and Big Mike's relationship when Big Mike got fired and Aaron was still there and all that kind of stuff. But like after that all happened, and he has nothing but good things to say about that entire staff, that entire regime. So I just think it's one of those things, and who knows, like, you know, the comfortability he has with that offense. Like, again, you know, the last several years after he's left Green Bay, really ever since LaFleur came in, it's kind of been like marrying what he likes to do along with whoever the new person's system, and it's kind of trying to, you know, like, does it take 8 weeks or however long to kind of find that sweet spot? Like, he doesn't have to do that anymore. He knows exactly what Big Mike wants to do, and Big Mike knows exactly what he likes to do.
Well, on that note, Big Mike, when he was talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers season with us, I think on draft night, and then maybe not draft night because he wasn't on the team yet, had to be maybe early weeks when Mike McCarthy was coming on or whatever. He goes, in this game, you look at his stats, because he's a big stats-oriented guy too. A lot of people don't think that because he's Yinzer or whatever. He goes, you look at the numbers, like, it's going to come down to a drive in the fourth quarter. And he said, there's nobody else in football that I would want to have the ball in the fourth quarter than Aaron Rodgers with a last-second drive or whatever. And I think he said that because he understands Aaron. Aaron has his ability, and I think it's why people can maybe throw a lot of rocks at his stats and shit. First couple quarters, like, Aaron Rodgers is very okay, like, if he throws it 8 times, maybe 6 times. He's trying to figure out what you're doing. He is trying to understand everything that your defense is doing. That's kind of his thing. He's like a computer. So in third, fourth quarter, the reason why Big Mike McCarthy has so much faith in him, it's like by fourth quarter, Aaron Rodgers has got this defense figured out. He understands what we're doing. So anything I call, he knows what we're going to need. We're going to be able to have success. There's no way, with how Aaron looked at the end of whenever they were running good there, that Mike McCarthy is going to change that mindset. Who else is going to be better than Aaron Rodgers that we're going to be able to get in here? I assume Mike McCarthy, who's always been a fan of Aaron publicly, we don't know how it ended privately, but we know publicly both men have certainly said very positive things about each other on our show and to people we know. It's like, what if they do say, hey, let's do one more run on this thing? We both get buried, kind of, you know? Hey, we both need to win another one. Doing that together, that's a movie. That is a movie in the city of Pittsburgh, too, with Mike McCarthy doing it all. But I think Steelers fans are having a hard time buying in that the movie is going to end with a Super Bowl. Instead, it's going to end with the 13th overall pick again, when it would be nice to maybe end up with the top 3 pick so we can get a organizational changer at the top of the, which is kind of how Steelers fans feel.
Yeah, they're yearning for change after the whole Tomlin run. They are yearning for change, and then Big Mike didn't help when he said that he loves Will Howard in the press conference. So now I think a lot of Steelers fans are yearning for Will Howard next season, and it goes 2 ways. He's either good and he's your future, or it's really, really bad and you're set up in a good spot for the next draft where, you know, things can change a lot, but it's supposed to be a really good quarterback draft.
It would be a hilarious experience to do an NFL season with Yinzers. And I don't know if enough people know about Yinzers. I think we have brought some spotlight to Yinzers in a more national way. And I would like to say it's an incredible honor for that to happen. But Yinzers are an incredibly passionate bunch. And boy, if they lose faith, they're good at shit talking them losing the faith in you, you know? So an entire season of Yinzers having to ride the wave of understanding, like, hey, we're trying to be bad right now. We're trying to be bad right now. Yeah, right. That would be the loudest, most miserable tried tank job in history. No matter what happens next year, if it's not a successful season, it's going to be loud for Big Mike's ass. And he understands that. All he wants to do is just win ball games out of him. And you see what Liam did. You see what Vrabes did. You see what Ben Johnson did. You see these very quick success stories for these coaches. And it's like Pittsburgh is definitely going to be Will Howard, Mason Rudolph. They got Diego Pavia playing quarterback. Yeah. Steelers fans are going to say, hey, it's your quarterback. Win. This is what you need to do. And if not, if they end up right in the middle of the pack again, it's going to be like, Rooney, you're the dumbest. Why would you even do that? That is possible.
Yes, it is.
McCarthy knows all of that. because his family has told him all of these things already about potentially another coach they were going to hire that is similar to him. So he knows exactly how these people, Yinzers, are. And I think the fact that he still signed up for it and be like, yeah, I'm supposed to be this guy. It feels like it's set up to be that. I'm happy for him. I hope it works out. They win a Super Bowl. That would be a fairy tale movie.
Oh, man.
That'd be a fairy tale movie if they're able to do that.